Meet the Skoda Slavia, Kushaq and Kodiaq. We're no strangers to these cars at Evo India because we ran the Slavia and the Kushaq on the Evo India fleet for over a year each, and the Kodiaq, it has just joined the Evo India fleet. These three cars have been the foundation to Skoda India's success over the last few years. In the last 2 years, Skoda has hit 1 lakh in sales figures, and that's the fastest time they've ever hit that magic 1 lakh number. And central to Skoda's success in India is the Kushaq and the Slavia. The Skoda Kushaq joined the Evo India fleet around 2021, right after the launch. And the first story I actually did with it was taking it to the windmill farms of Nashik. And that's because that area, those routes are actually part of the INRC. And I tied it into Skoda's heritage with rallying, the Monte Carlo rally and the WRC and all of that. It was a really nice story. In the monsoon, beautiful weather, it was really fun. And after that, I lived with the car for a whole year. My Skoda long-term test car was with the 1-litre TSI engine and the manual transmission, and I really enjoyed that engine in this chassis because it was just so much fun to drive. The 1-litre engine, I absolutely love it. It's the 3-cylinder TSI engine, 999 cc's, but puts out solid power and torque figures. And of course the chassis, it's such a great handler. It deals with our roads well. In terms of covering ground in Indian conditions, it's so good. It's stable, it's planted, it's got that typical European solidity to it, that stability at high speed. And then when you found the winding set of roads, it's just so much fun. And that's a non-negotiable. For me to like a car, it needs to be able to deal with corners well. And the Kushaq did that, and how. Also, in terms of equipment, it had enough. You had this nice big touchscreen over here. You have the wireless phone charger. You have the wireless phone connectivity for CarPlay and Android Auto. And you have ventilated seats. And I don't really need more than that. Just the right amount of features and exactly the right amount of being fun to drive. In 2022, the Skoda Slavia was launched, which eventually joined the Evo India fleet. Now coming to the Skoda Slavia, I had mine in crystal blue, which is this lovely light blue color. It was such a bright and happy car, just the way I like my cars. And in terms of the drivetrain combination, this time it was the 1.5 TSI, again with the manual transmission. I really fell in love with it over my time with it. And for a couple of reasons actually. One is the ground clearance. Usually sedans have compromised ground clearance, but the Slavia, it's raised up, it's jacked up and doesn't have a low ride height, which means you can use it like you use an SUV. There's genuinely no compromise in terms of the ride height. Second is the ride quality. The Skoda Slavia has wheels that are one size smaller than what you have on the Kushaq. The Kushaq has 17s at the top end. The Slavia, it has 16s at the top end. That combined with the fact that it's a lower car, it can be sprung slightly softer, it has better ride quality. So when you're driving down our roads, this is actually more comfortable than the Kushaq, and I really enjoyed that comfort over my time with the car. Third has to be the engine. That 1.5 TSI engine is such a beautiful motor. It's so smooth, so creamy smooth, but it has so much grunt. I'm driving it with the DSG right now, which is a fabulous thing, but even with the manual, it was just so much fun rowing through the gears, extracting the best I could out of the drivetrain. As for creature comforts, the car that I had was pretty much like what we had on the Kushaq. So you had the screen, you had the wireless connectivity, you have the ventilated seats, and that was more than enough to keep me happy. But I think what I love the most about the Slavia was its shape. It is a Skoda sedan, and I love them. One of my favorite memories with the Skoda Slavia is the time we shot it with the Octavia RS. It really put into perspective how Skoda's sporty DNA for its sedans has trickled down into the Slavia. The Slavia may not be as hardcore as the RS model, but there are certainly similarities, both in terms of size and performance. With the Evo India team bidding goodbye to the Slavia in 2023, 2024 brought in the Kodiaq. The Skoda Kodiaq has also been a big success for the brand. In 2023 compared to 2022, they saw a 100% increase in sales. And sitting where I am, honestly, it's not hard to see why this car is such a success. It just does so much right. This really is the complete package. In terms of comfort features, just look at what you have. You've got heated and cooled ventilated seats, 3-zone climate control, you've got the Canton audio system, you've got digital displays in front of you, you've got a nice large infotainment screen, leather seats in the back, 7 seats, so it's really practical. There really is very little compromise with this car. The 2-litre TSI engine is an absolute beauty. This is one of Skoda's most popular engines worldwide, and it's here in India. You've got it mated to the 7-speed DSG transmission, and it's punchy, it's quick, it's got character, it likes to rev. It's such a beautiful motor. And lastly, the dynamics. You know, Skoda's DNA of making fun to drive cars, the Kodiaq is right up there with the best, because despite being such a large car, it drives so well. You've got the ride quality, but you don't compromise on handling. You have good steering, you have good ride, you have the ability to place it where you want to. And a lot of that is down to the DCC, the dynamic chassis control. So when you change the drive modes, you actually change the adaptive damping. Plus, you've got 4x4 as standard, so traction is never a problem. And should you ever choose to go off-road, you can. To think that this sits around the 40 lakh rupees ex-showroom mark is unbelievable. And it really feels like an SUV from 2 segments above. Now these 2 cars here are not the exact same cars we had on long-term test. This is the Kushaq Monte Carlo. It gets this red paint scheme, the blacked out elements. It also gets the Monte Carlo badges on the outside and an interior that has been given a refresh to match the colors on the outside. The Slavia 2 is not the exact same car we had on test. This one is in lava blue. Now, updates have been given for the model year 2024 cars as well. They now get passenger and driver seat electrical adjustability, which is actually a segment first, and you get illuminated footwells. The Slavia also gets special editions like the Elegance edition with the deep black paint and even a matte edition. And the best part is, this is the entire Skoda India lineup, and it's entirely 5-star safety rated. The Kodiaq, it scored a full 5 stars in the Euro NCAP tests, and these 2, the Kushaq and the Slavia, it scored a full 5 stars in the global NCAP tests. A lot of Skoda's success is down to the network as well, both in terms of sales and service. The number of touch points has boomed, going from 120 touch points in 2021 to 260 in 2023. And with that, more focus is being paid to the service experience as well. Skoda used to come under a lot of flack for their service and their spare parts cost in the past, but that has changed with the Slavia and the Kushaq. These 2 cars are up to 95% localized in India, and that makes a huge difference to part prices as well as turnaround time in service, because the parts are produced right here. Skoda has also paid a lot of attention to making the service experience more transparent. Late last year, Skoda started the Service Scam initiative, which basically allows service advisors to take a video of the part that needs replacement or that needs service and send it through a link to the customer online. The customer can then watch that video and then choose to either approve or reject the job immediately. So that aids in transparency. All of these initiatives allow Skoda to give a 1 lakh kilometer or 4-year warranty on the cars, and that is extendable through various extended warranty packages up to 8 years and 1,50,000 kilometers. 3 years since the launch of the Skoda Kushaq, followed by the Slavia and their successes together, Skoda India is ready to take 2024 by the horns. You can expect more special editions, electric cars, and a lot more exciting products that have been planned in the pipeline. In the meantime, the current lineup of cars is here holding fort. There's a little bit for everybody in here. I really enjoyed my time with the Kushaq and the Slavia in the Evo India fleet. They really are no-nonsense cars with solid engineering that make them really nice to drive. I miss them, but I have the Kodiaq to look forward to over the next couple of months.